Also, I think I'm a big fan of this whole table situation just because we can have stuff here.
I know. We can have snacks. We can have cake.
When's the last time we've had cake?
I don't even know because we're on a diet.
We're on a diet.
We're on a fitness journey.
I don't know. I don't think it's a diet for me. I think it's a way of life.
Yeah. We'll see come February 3rd.
Do you think a lot's going to change about me after this dry January fitness thing is over? Do you think my regimen is going to change at all?
Eating wise, no. Drinking wise, yes.
Well, drinking, yeah. I mean, so we're doing a dry January with some friends, and it's a competition. We got $100 in it. We got our beginning body fat percentages checked. Got all these numbers, and it's the same. It's the same. Like everybody use the same basically method. That way, there's no variation or anything like that. And then so it was January 3rd through February 3rd. By the way, I'm kind of self-conscious about saying February.
February.
And the girls and the guys are in their own division. So there'll be a first place girls, first place guys. And the agreement is no booze. And then from that point on, it's whoever has the biggest change in that body fat percentage. I'm doing pretty good. I've got my 2-week mark tests done. I went from 13.9% body fat, 13.6% body fat to 11.9 body fat percent. I think I gained 2 pounds of muscle and lost 4 pounds of fat, I think.
Wait, what? Way to flawlessly plug that in. Flex hard.
What up? Hey, I'll let you get to your numbers here in a second.
You know what? We're just gonna just skid right over that.
And so going back to why I was talking about it. So with that, there's a regimen that I'm kind of living by in terms of working out, and both of us what we're eating and what we're not eating. And do you think I'm going to stick to pretty hard to that same diet that I've been on?
Mm-hmm. I think because it's not it's pretty sustainable. I think that's why we haven't. You'll still have a cheat day here and there, which we did before when we were eating healthy and clean. But as far as working out and stuff, I feel now you formed a habit and you're just going to keep doing it.
Well, the nice thing about this working out thing is I bought Derek White's 12-week program, and all it is just dumbbells. And it's been...
He uses my pink 3-pound dumbbells and calls it working out.
You know what I use it for? To throw it so my shoe can come closer to me. That's what I use it for. I use it as a shoe
to get stuff down. You can't get something, you just throw it.
I don't want to throw my shoe at it, so I use your 3-pound dumbbell.
Does the job.
It's incredible what you can do with just a set of dumbbells. Mm-hmm. When I say a set, I mean literally if you can get... Mine are the screw ones, so you can put weights on, but you just need 2 different sizes, a medium weight and a little bit of a heavier weight, and then it will destroy you. Because he keeps interacting with he'll do a warm-up for 10 minutes, and he'll give you a kind of warm-up, whether you're doing burpees or running or whatever, and then it's the strength thing is it's very quick. It's 3 sets of 10 kind of thing. And then there's conditioning, and that's what usually kicks your butt. It's where you're doing thrusters and burpees and squats and one leg squats, and then rest for 2 minutes and then do it again 5 times. So it's
intense.
It really opened up my eyes about what you get from the gym and what you can actually really accomplish
at
home.
Yeah. So I know it just takes that following a workout.
Yeah,
versus just I don't know what to do.
That's the big thing. I think when you take the thinking out of it and when you just show up and you're well, I just he'll be okay, today was week 3, day 4 or something like that. I'm okay. He's this is what you're doing, and I'm oh, okay. And there's no guesswork. I guess that's what I'm doing. I think with me, I was actually thinking about this the last couple of days. I think yes, the drinking, yeah, I'll have alcohol, and then. As far as working out, I think I'm sticking to the same regimen because I need it for mental health. And then the last one is the stuff that I'm eating and the protein that I'm consuming. And First of all, I'll say this is the first diet I ever did where I'm not hungry at all. Like, I'm eating a lot. Like, I'm eating 4 eggs and 4 link sausages every morning. I'll have a protein shake at noon, and then I'll have 2 boiled eggs and some sausage at, and cheese at like 3 o'clock, and then I'll have my dinner. And dinners are like steak, salmon,
salad,
all with salad, and I'm full. It's sometimes these sugar. I didn't realize
It's the sugar for me too.
Yeah.
I just crave it all the time.
Yeah, I didn't think I had a sweet tooth.
Yeah, you do.
I think when you're deprived of it.
You don't have like a sweet tooth as in, oh man, I really want to go get some like yogurt or
Yogurt? That's your wow.
ice cream.
Wow, you're really converted.
I don't know
Wow.
why I said
Poor
yogurt.
gal. Yeah, when you have a few too many drinks, you get the munchies. You're like, do we have any yogurt?
I need those probiotics.
Yeah.
No.
A glass of
I
milk
said
too.
yogurt. Ice cream, or like go get a McFlurry or something. You're never, or donuts or whatever. But it's for you. It's more like after dinner, you're always looking in the pantry to see if there's like chocolate or something.
Just because it's a good topper. Like I think the after dinner,
It's just that right amount of
after dinner cookie, like a singular cookie, or like right now we're doing these like 1 bars, which have like 1 gram of sugar in them. And it's the same thing. It's that after dinner thing. I just need something to like.
It's just enough. Yeah.
Just enough. Like every once in a blue moon, I'll get like a midday cup of coffee. Like after this, I'll probably pour me a cup of coffee, and I'll go, what sounds good with this? Like a nice piece of chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Just every once in a while. Not every time, but just I don't have those cravings like in the morning, like a black cup of coffee and a donut. I don't care about that.
For you, it's more like that. Just a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah. I think what screws me over is, when we go, midweek, you'd be like, you want to go out tonight? And I'll be like, because I'll save my cheat meal for the weekends or something like that. And you're like, you want to go out? And then what I'll realize is if you're running at a certain regiment where like you're eating a certain way, you're working out a certain way, you're going to see pounds and fat shed. But as soon as you skip a few days and then tack on a few days of
not
eating well,
yeah.
all of a sudden you're going out and you're like, I usually go out once a week. Now I'm going out twice, 3 times a week. I went out once, and then we had pizza twice this week. Like stuff like that.
That's where we got in trouble.
Yeah. There's multiple weeks where we were like, I think it's pretty conservative compared to a lot of people, but like we had pizza like twice in a week. And then we went out. And then we went out to a restaurant on another day. And so you're like, well,
it's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's hard, I think, for me. Yeah, I think that's where we got in trouble. How dare you?
Come on, it's cheese.
Make sure you chew really loudly into the microphone so people...
ASMR. No, these are, what is it, cranberries and cheese?
Mm-hmm. And almonds.
Mm.
It's good stuff.
It's nice stuff. So what were we saying?
I don't know. I was saying that's where we got in trouble. It's because like I would be working all day. You would be working all day. We'd both come home and be like, I don't know, what should we make for dinner? I'll just go pick up a pizza. And that's
what'll get us.
That's what'll get us.
That's what'll get us. Yeah, I think that's one thing I'm gonna take a real big takeaway after this is I don't know how I feel about the protein yet. Like not to be TMI, but like, whoa. I saw where your eyes went. I saw where your eyes went. You trying to see?
Yeah.
Trying to get pop out a flex?
Like last night I put my arm around you or something. Oh, it was your chest, and I was like, oh,
last night
there's some muscle there. Yeah.
Why'd you put your arm around me?
Because I wanted to cuddle. You were so far away.
There's some muscle. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
I wasn't even flexing.
I know. I was like, whoa, that's nice.
What up? Yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna shut this podcast down early.
Listen, guys.
Let me go show you some
sleeping.
of the... I have never done something like this. I've done keto. Was it 2 years ago to get me started on this like understanding nutrition? Mm-hmm. But I lost, I think, more overall weight than I've gained muscle. I'm convinced I lost a ton of muscle
when keto. You did keto.
Yes, because I didn't understand. First of all, when I did keto probably three. Did I break my arm 3 years ago?
Yeah,
it has to be 3. So 3 years I did keto, and I did it for 5 weeks. I think I lost like 15 pounds or 11 pounds. I think I lost 11 pounds. And I learned that the amount of carbohydrates I was putting in my body and not working out is the equivalent of like having a rocket ship but you're putting jet fuel, but you're not taking the thing anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you have a NASCAR in the house, but in the garage, with jet fuel, and you can't go drive it. You're just you walk everywhere. So it's like it doesn't make sense. You're not burning it off, and so I'm not running any marathons or anything. So why am I putting so many carbohydrates? So I realized with keto, I was like, oh, you got to put the stuff in, and then you got to burn fat. And then what I learned, but I lost a bunch of muscle. But what I learned with this, like now 3 years later, with this plan that I'm doing, it's the whole idea is eat the right thing. The idea is don't eat garbage, right? Or these rocket and jet fuel like pastas and stuff like that, like carbohydrates that are supposed to like
heavy.
help you run a marathon. And then build muscle, like do stuff with weights, high repetition, and the idea is you build muscle, and then that muscle, the more you build, helps you actually burn more calories.
Yeah, the more muscle you build, the more fat you burn.
Yeah, I was surprised. Science, folks. I was surprised to see that, like this whole workout regimen, he didn't have anything about saying, okay, today you're doing cardio and only cardio. Like it was more of like, today you're going to warm up by running 1 mile.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like just get your move. Like everything else is just like do jump tucks. You know what I mean? Squat tucks. You know, you're like, okay, wow. I guess that's burning more fat than me going on a 7 mile run. So we're in 7 mile run. I think you're also burning a lot of muscle.
You are, because it's all cardio. I mean, you build muscle in your legs, but like, what about your arms or your back?
The back is a big one. What about you? What do you think is going to change for you? Or what have you learned anything about yourself through this?
I used to think that I didn't need to do weights or anything, or do like strength building exercises. I thought like running, would do it, because I think before when I was running, I would notice like the toning, but now I feel like I always thought like I would lose more weight while running than doing weights. Mm-hmm. And initially that's true. Like when you first start doing cardio, obviously you're going to be losing that. But now I'm noticing when I do like you do, I will run a couple miles and then I'll do like weights or like just strength building, like squats and burpees and all the really fun stuff.
Oh, burpees are the worst, man.
Oh, those kill me. I've noticed, it's actually like made me like I'm seeing like results so much quicker.
Yeah, than just running.
Like I can actually see my stomach like getting smaller after. Yeah.
Now it's interesting.
Having Harper.
It's interesting because with like running, I thought I would see the most of like the stomach, like on myself, like the stomach flattening out, because like you're running, you're burning all these calories. Right. But I think now I see more of it by doing these weights, and I wonder if that's a lot has to do with like I think you're burning off maybe you're getting off a lot of the fluid off of you. That's the extra fluid. I don't know. It's a theory that I have that I haven't yet developed really much.
You should read about it.
Yeah, I wonder if people are gonna be like, "Oh, here's why
he's wrong.
Here's the science behind it."
I feel like we should be sponsored by LaCroix, by the way.
LaCroix, yeah,
because we always drink them.
What kind of alcohol do you? Okay, what do you miss more, alcohol or sweets? And you can't say both.
If I say alcohol, it's gonna sound bad.
Okay, so break it down to what you can say is you can miss both, but give it a percentage.
The reason I would say like alcohol more than sweets is because
it keeps the shakes away.
Yeah. No, it's like I just miss that like social aspect of just like having a drink or the social aspect. But I would say with sweets, it's not even. I think because we've been giving ourselves like the 1 bars or like we found the chocolates that have it's like chocolate covered almonds, but they have less than a gram of sugar in how many of them?
8, I think.
Yeah, like a good amount. And I think that is enough to satisfy that like sweet tooth that I have.
Just enough to get it going. You know, what satisfies my sweet tooth is like maybe like 3 slices of Tres Leches cake.
Yeah. I'll make one for you on February 3rd.
Just 3. Yeah. You know. I'm actually scared. I'm scared to like indulge.
Yes.
Or overindulge in food, because I know that's gonna. I think I'm gonna start keeping track and be like, okay, well that's 2 days this week I haven't been eating well, and then I think the one thing that has given me success in life, especially like with YouTube and all that stuff, is, and I've heard somebody say this, that they put it this way. They said the top 99%. No, they said the top 2% earners in this country are like the rich people, right? The Warren Buffetts, the Elon Musks, they're like introverts. And then, but then the question is, what about the other, like, large percentage of people that are successful? So like within the pool of successful people, top 2% are introverts. And then the top 99%, the only thing that they have in common is their psychotic, obsessive compulsive behavior. And I think that's a bit that I have, that I like. I'll overanalyze things like, it's these numbers and I got to hit these numbers, or I missed a day and I can't miss a day. And it's that OCD thing where you're like, you move somewhere and you have to move it back.
Yes.
And so I think that's one thing that might be helping me with this, where it's like, well, I can't just, like yesterday was my rest day and I was kind of uneasy. I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing things today. Like, why am I not doing
You feel
it?
guilty.
Yeah.
Because you're always, I think it's because you're working so hard all the time to achieve these goals, and when you give yourself a break, you feel like you're gonna be behind.
Yes. Fun fact, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when I was in school never came easy to me. I was struggling. Like my motto was C's and D's get degrees, but like I was just, I should have been held back or something to help me develop. But anywho, I was always afraid of missing school of a sick day, because school is already difficult for me now. Imagine missing 1 or 2 days of sickness days, that you feel like you're just behind everybody. You're constantly behind.
Always.
And I think that fueled my whole punctuality thing, that as an adult now, where if I'm not on time, I'm late. If I'm on, so I never want to be behind anybody.
If I'm not on time, I'm late. That's some words of wisdom.
You like that one? You like that one? That's some Confucius stuff. Listen,
I didn't catch that.
If I'm not there at the time I'm supposed to be there, guess what?
I'm late.
late.
And you can take that to the bank.
To the bank. Pow, 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 pow. So I don't know.
That makes sense.
Obsessive compulsive behavior, I think, to a degree, could be very. Would you describe me as obsessive compulsive, or would you say OCD?
Isn't that the same?
I don't know. I think one is a lot scarier definition or a title.
What is OCD? Is obsessive compulsive disorder.
Look at me. I just dropped 2 pieces of knowledge.
Gosh, you are just
2 pieces of
dropping these gems.
This is the equivalency of that Talladega Nights, where you're like, if you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Well, you could be second or third.
Oh, man. Oh.
Wow, that's a good one for me today.
Yes.
Last week you couldn't pronounce words. Today
You're taking the reins today on that.
I'm taking the reins today, and I'm bringing wisdom. But you know what? If you never caught that, I bet you that people would be like, like you'd listen to these very I don't know, like professors talk, but the way they present it sounds so much more sophisticated.
Yes.
But then when you like analyze it in your head,
you're like, wait a second, what are they saying?
Why'd you overcomplicate this very simple concept? Like in business theory or anything like that, they'd be like, spend less, and therefore, you'll have more money kind of thing.
Yeah. Or it's like, but they'll like drag it out into this long, yeah.
You'll have a 2-hour lecture on supply and demand, and you go, after you're done, you're like, wait a second. So the whole time you're just trying to explain the fact that as a business, you need to have a high amount of supply, and therefore you could fulfill a large amount of demand. And if you have a low supply, there's less that you could fulfill the demand. Like I don't. So I was like, that was my equivalency. Yeah.
I would say, in your work, you are,
Is it
obsessive?
Do you see a negative aspect of it?
No, I think
because the checks keep coming, huh?
No, I think there was a period of time where it was, what's the word I'm looking for? Burning you out.
In the infancy stages,
yeah. When you first started and you knew you had to put you just had to go for it and all in. And so I think in the early stages, because you were obsessing over it because you had to be, but I think it was burning you out. And then as you grew, you started realizing, like you said, scaling your business in a way where you could do what you do without all the stress of what you do by yourself. Mm-hmm. And so now I feel like you're at a point where I don't know if you're even that OCD about.
I don't study numbers as bad as I
Yeah,
used to study.
yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with there's more that I have to do, and the things I have to create content for.
Right.
That it almost turns that off. I'm kind
You're
of
also just so busy. Yeah, you're like, okay, what's the next thing versus looking and obsessing over
correct.
the thing that you just did.
Before I had the schedule of production, the way we have like the timing and the schedule, I would find breaks to like look at my phone and see the analytics and how videos are performing and all that stuff. And now because like I'm on somebody else's time, like, you know, Kyle's there and now Tyler just added to the team, I feel like if I'm not being productive when they're here, then I'm wasting their time more than I'm wasting my time. And I don't like that feeling. So I'm like, okay, nope, not going to tinker on the phone.
Yeah, which is good because then it keeps you from obsessing about it.
Oh, 100%. I am finding myself obsessing now with stock stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've
You've
dug
kind
out.
of refocused your energy on that now.
Well, and not to say I'm pulling back on videos. I'm going as hard at videos as I did before.
yeah,
I'm
you
just not looking at these
Yeah.
numbers like microscopically
you can't
analyzing.
change them. Like
That's kind of what
you
it
can
is.
work as hard as you can, but you can't in the end. The numbers are who's viewing your videos. Yeah,
Correct.
But with stocks, you can kind of play around and see what's trending, what's
Right, and to be honest, I haven't sold a single stock. I keep buying stock, which I think it's a good mindset to have. From it sounds like everybody's telling you like don't become
you
a day
shouldn't
trader.
Yeah.
But it's I guess the obsession is more of like the news that I'm reading and like seeing the progression. Like today I'm up X amount of points, vice from. Why do you keep checking me out?
No, I was looking at tattoos.
Oh, have you not seen
Also,
them?
the way you were holding your arm was really awkward.
Is it really, do you like this like that? It accentuates my clavicles. You like that?
Yes.
So yeah, I think I just kind of find with me, I think I obsess about a lot of things, and you describe it as me just getting excited about things. Like there's a period of time where I'm like, oh, I'm all into Jeeps and off-roading, and then I'm into another
hunting.
thing, bow hunting. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still into bow hunting. It's just a seasonal thing, but
Yeah.
I get excited about a lot
You get excited and you get like you're the type of personality, where you're like when you like something or find something that you enjoy, you're like 100% in.
But it also helps if that thing makes you money. If it makes you money, then the excitement behind it is a whole different level of excitement.
Yes,
Because you're
yeah.
like,
Now you're
you go
driven
from
in a
making money on
different-
YouTube and making sure these videos perform, and then your subscribers grow, obviously, and you're excited about that because that also kind of goes together. And then, Facebook ads, take off for you and you're excited because it makes money. And then stocks goes and you're excited because it makes you money. But I don't think I'm that excited about
Hobbies.
like hobbies. I guess I am. I just don't have that much time. Like I just bought the VR system that's supposed to be coming in, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited, because I've only tried VR virtual reality just a handful of times, and I thought it was like just out of this world. And I don't think I'm gonna. That's a good example of me obsessing about anything, but I just get excited about the next and the new and the.
I think you get excited about when it's like family stuff.
I do.
With the boys.
Yeah.
I think that's where you get really excited now. And it used to be like when our kids were really little, you would find hobbies, right? You got into Jeeps. You got into
You did what I did with the shoulder, just in clavicle clap.
But now that we have kids and they're getting older, you're finding these hobbies with them, like dirt biking and skiing and all these fun things. And I think that's great because it's a healthy way to
Spend money.
Yes, very healthy.
I convinced him about the VR set. Look, it's for the kids.
And then he tells him, Jack, this is my PlayStation and this is my VR set.
Don't say it like that. And if you touch it, I'll punch you.
Yeah.
No.
Don't you ever even look at it.
Right.
Jack did tell me today, Dad said he might get Fortnite on his PlayStation, and we can play together. He was so excited about it. So now you have to get Fortnite.
Yeah, I have
Sorry.
to get Fortnite. I got Call of Duty for us to play together, but I'm not a gamer, and that's the thing. I think this is the most hilarious thing because
You're not. When I saw you, like all the games that you bought, I was like, "Who is this guy?
Yeah,
Who is he?"
It's such a silly thing. So here's the thing about video games. My oldest brother got into them, and he's 4 years older than me. And I remember when I was maybe 22, a girlfriend at the time bought me an Xbox, right? And I got NFL Madden and Call of Duty. And my brother was like, "Oh, dude, you got to get the headset so we could all talk." And so, and I keep in mind, my older brother, who I looked up to, and, we never got along. And so so there's a lot of a mess there. So this is the first time we're kind of clicking and connecting. And, he got married. And so he's playing video games and coming out. And I got the thing. And here we are playing. And I'm like, I'm not into this. Like, we're a bunch of, you guys are grown ass adults, and I'm 22 at the time, and here I'm sitting playing video games. I just didn't have that gene. And then I guess
Our son got that gene.
Well, he definitely got that gene, and I have no interest in playing video games at all. But I think one of my most favorite, I have a handful of very fun favorite memories that we do as a family, like on a boat or skiing or whatever. Mm-hmm. But one of them, along with it, it's a very simple one, but it's when we were in Seattle and we went to that family fun center or something like that. And there's this 2-person shooting game where there's like these spaceships or something like that. And it's these cool graphics, and you have a gun and you're shooting them, and he's next to me and we're shooting the same thing, kind of like tag teaming it. And to me, realizing that his love language is so much different than Beckham's or my love language, that I like, my biggest fear in life is that when they become adults, there's something that I missed when I was raising them that pushed them away, as opposed to hang out bring with you closer. Right. So it's I explaining a little bit on the thought yesterday. If Beckham's love language is like cuddles and just talking, and Jack's love language is like doing stuff together, and he loves video games so much that what if and that part is only going to grow even more on him, right? As he becomes older, like he's going to play more and more video games. It's just kind of the natural progression of kids and video games. Then what if I maybe molded myself to fit him? So like, I'm disciplining him to be molded into a person that I find to be acceptable, right? So I want you to talk like this to mom and dad. I don't want you to talk like that. I want you to show these manners, not these bad behaviors. So he's being molded, or I'm asking him to be somebody that I want him to be. And obviously with video games, I can't control that, and I don't have that gene. So what if I could change myself to mold my personality to cater to him, at least in that aspect, that when he gets older, at least it's another thing that we can relate on and share an experience with.
Yeah. And like, when he plays with you, like, I feel like it's so much safer than when he's playing with some random, other, especially like with Fortnite and stuff. We don't know who he's playing. Well, we do. We don't let him play with like people he doesn't know, but
I would tell him play only with people over the age of 40. And if you know their first name, that's good enough.
Yeah. That's it. 40?
We say if you know their last name, that's too personal. Yeah. Okay.
Can't play. No, we try to like obviously keep him really safe, but like nothing makes him happier than like when we all sit on the couch and take turns like playing on his Switch. Yeah. Yeah. And so he's going to be over the moon that you are taking the time out to play with him.
I got the thing, and I wanted him to understand. I was like, this is not yours. And it's not like, it's weird for me to be like, oh, this is my, PlayStation. I don't want him to be like, this is my PlayStation, because Beckham doesn't really care for video games. And so I don't want to be like, we got Jack the Switch and we got him the PlayStation and we got him. No, I want, because right now we punish him by taking a Switch away when he's
discipline, not punish.
Yeah, we torture him by taking his games away. No, we discipline him by taking his games away. And so I told him, I was like, listen, man, I bought a PlayStation, and I told him this after he lost his privileges of his Switch, and he didn't know I bought it. And I said, listen, man, I ordered it and it's coming, and But listen, you have to learn how to not let these games affect your mood and your attitude and the way you are with mom and dad. You can't be whining and crying, throwing fits because you can't play anymore. I bought this thing, he goes, and I said, like, and guess what? I bought a game that we could play together, but it's going to be a treat. So when I'm seeing that you're showing good behavior and good listening, I'll reward you by coming and we can play together. But I have to see these things. And so, like,
that'll be another thing for him to
Right.
like, look forward to and
exactly. It kind of help control him, his
emotions.
His emotions. And you were there when that happened, like, because already he's been like kind of crying and, pouting because he got it taken away and understanding. He's basically portraying that, like, listen, I'm in the bad right now. And then when I told him that, he stopped. He was saying, like, maybe a foot in front of me. And then he just hugged me.
yeah, he just put his, which he never does that. He's not our affectionate one.
He's not affectionate. He just hugged me.
That was, I like, kind of
Yeah.
made me do a double take. I was like, what? I think he was just so, I don't know, happy that you even thought of that for him.
And that's why I think that's my theory of, like, me molding myself in interest to cater to his interests, because he's only 7 now and he's into video games. The amount that he's going to be into video games is going to be multiplied 5-fold as he gets older, as a teenager. And if it's something that I could relate to him and not just be a dad who is a stickler about video games and is against them, then maybe I won't push him away in life. You know what I mean? Because he does have that more hard-headed personality or stubborn personality that it's only going to be more prevalent as he gets older. And I can't just yell at him when he's 15.
Right.
I'm going to push him away. So this is my attempt at being... Just want to be loved.
Yes. Love me, Jack. And then Beckham, all he wants to do is find every cardboard box in our house and cut it up.
And make wings, attach wings to it.
And make a rocket or airplane and make sure that there's a trail from every single place he goes to.
Because the floor is lava.
Yeah. So he's got to make a trail of cardboard and string and glue and tape.
His fascination with tape is both mesmerizing, impressive, and annoying at the same time, because we can't keep tape in our house. It's all gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I have to hide it, and even then he'll find it.
And he's just always adding things to things. Like he'll tape 2 double-D batteries together, put a pipe cleaner between
Call
them.
it a bomb.
And yeah.
He's done that before. He's like, Mom, look, I made a bomb. I was like,
whoa, dude,
okay.
let's not show these signs.
That
That's what you
escalated
gotta do.
real
Yeah.
quickly.
Do we need to talk about this, man? So, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Harper's like, because the boys are so different, night and day different. Their personalities, their their love languages, the way they respond in their emotions.
I have a theory that Harper is going to be more like Beckham, and the only reason I say that is because I could already see that both
as a baby,
kids,
she's the same as him. Yeah.
she's exactly the same. Both boys are all 3 kids are completely different as babies. One thing that Beckham and Jack shared as babies is that every time you would change them, like their clothes, their diapers, they're always crying and screaming.
Yep.
Harper does not.
She never has.
She has never. Even when I'm like trying to get her, her shoulder in or elbow in, and it's taking a little bit, she just gives you
like,
most of.
yeah.
And so, like, she's not bothered at it, and she reminds me so much of how Beckham was when, like, every time you'd walk into Beckham's room when he was napping and he'd be awake, he just smiles and giddy that you're there and excited. I've gotten Harper at 3:00 in the morning, and she's like, yeah.
She just smiles at you.
Like, whoa, okay, you're reminding me of.
She's very patient, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
We'll see. She might bring in a little sass when she's 2 or 3.
Yeah, sass. That'll be interesting. But yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. Should we mention about some of the news?
Yeah, I guess we'll do another segment called
We're adopting.
No, a segment called
Why are your eyes closed?
I'm trying to think of like a really passionate way to say news.
That's passionate.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. News. All right, news. What's our news?
Go ahead.
Me? So
So
Irene and I have given it the old college try. We thought 9 years of marriage is fine enough.
8.
Well, it feels like 9.
Oh.
We're just gonna start seeing other people
Casually.
casually. No,
He would never survive out there.
I would not. I don't know how to start dating again. How do you do that? Do you know?
I never want to.
Do you know how exhausting this idea? Like, if you go, I think a lot of people have this idea, especially like I consider ourselves being really happy in our marriage, but I think that there's other people who you look at. Why are you looking at the camera like that? I think there's a lot of people that we both know that they're just making it work, and and I think some people might romanticize the idea of like what it would be like if they
were single or something.
Again.
It sounds exhausting.
It is so
horrible.
exhausting to be like, what are you into?
Especially in your 30s. Yeah.
I don't like to be around people, so let alone have to meet a new person and be like, oh, happy 1 year. Oh, that's your quirk or your thing? Okay, so, okay. I guess. Okay. Yeah. What was it like growing up? It's like, I don't care.
The small talk.
I don't care.
I don't miss that at all. I don't miss that at all. No, I like, how some people will like really like, they'll call it like their glory days, or they'll, like you said, romanticize like what it was when they were like teenagers and just having fun and like no responsibilities and all that. Like that, I don't ever. When I think about that, I just think, my life like sucked back then. Like, I feel like my life didn't really start until we got married. The good parts. I've already said this before. But you know what I'm saying? Like, some people will always think back to, the high school days or the college days.
Yeah,
no part of me like ever misses that.
One thing I remember about me being single is there are...
You ready to mingle?
No, I was not ready to mingle. I remember being bored more than anything.
Yeah. Because you have nothing to do.
Well, because it'd be like Sunday afternoon. And unless you were seeing somebody that you can go on a date with, you're just at home. Because all your buddies are probably like with their families. And if they already have families, they're being with their families or they're dating somebody.
That's true. I do not remember the last time I was like bored, had nothing to do. It's probably before we even got married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was pregnant with Jack.
Like now I'm more excited about, I'll be completely honest, when you went out with the girls last night and the kids went, thank you. And okay, that's just my facial hair. That looks fun.
Is it?
What are you doing?
Is that a cold sore?
No. What is it?
You have like a white thing right here.
That's probably paint.
Oh. Why is it on your lip?
Because we had these jets from the paint sprayer that need to be cleaned out.
And
I was blowing in it, and then I was putting a needle and then blowing it again. And so maybe got some on my...
I think
cold sore? How do you confuse a little bit of white paint with cold sore?
It looks like it doesn't look like paint.
Well, lick it and see if you grow a cold sore on your tongue. Then it is a cold sore. What was I saying?
You were saying...
So yesterday when you went out with the girls and the kids went down to bed, I actually got excited because I
left?
Yeah, I was like, finally, enough with the talking.
Yeah.
Enough with the talking.
You got some alone time?
Yeah. No, but I have, and I don't know if this is sad or what, but I obviously feel like a lot of people feel like there's not enough time in the day. Mm-hmm. And so I have a list on my phone of things I need to look up. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I need to look that up.
Yeah, so you just put it on your notepad.
And I literally like one of them on the list was like, how do they mine Bitcoin? You know what I mean? So then I watched the 16-minute presentation about Bitcoin, and I was like, that's how you do it. Okay,
so that's what you were doing.
After that thing, and so
I do that, but with like furniture. Like, okay, this piece, or like I'll save a picture. Be like, okay, look up what this is.
Yeah, or then like another one would be because I mean I know how to do tile, I know how to do plumbing and all that stuff, but then I'll be like. I'll be in the middle of the thing and maybe I did a tile job and I was like irritated because it was a messy job and I go, how do the professionals do it? And then I'll like write a thing like look up how to do clean, tile job.
There's videos for everything.
And then I watch it and so I'm almost like educating myself. So I'll just sit there with the iPad with headphones on and it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice, like my ideal time.
Yeah, but you do that when I'm there anyway. So
yeah. No, well, that was just I'm saying that was a prime example of like what happened yesterday. That
Yeah.
well, and then the perspective of like being bored. Like
There's always something.
there's times that I'm like, oh, I can just invite some of my friends over right now while you're away. And I was like, but I kind of want to just look at.
It's also different because it's not being bored. It's finally like taking a rest.
having some time to yourself.
Yes, yeah, which is completely different. I think when you're bored, you've like exhausted everything you could do, and now you're like, I don't have nothing to do. But after a long day of working and then dinner and cleanup and kids and putting them to bed, you finally sit on the couch and you kind of just breathe.
Right. But on the other perspective of it, like we've had maybe a handful of times that our kids spend the night at your mom's house, and you know, it would take them into the afternoon of the next day to come back, and like in the mornings, it's cool because you got it to yourself, you're doing your thing.
You miss them.
But yeah, you miss them, and I'm sure because there've been also a few days where they were gone for like maybe 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, when
like,
they went to McCall.
And or to the cabin with the parents, and it seems like it's easily for us to get bored at that point
Without kids,
right? Because you did all your thing.
Yes.
Right, you're like,
you have now the time to do all
like,
the things.
I worked out, I looked up all the stuff, I
That's
watched
true.
a movie because I've been meaning to watch a movie, and then you're like, well, what do I do now?
No, yeah, that's true.
what
It's kids. They will keep you from being bored.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
Yeah, no,
It's like with kids, you're like always chasing the time. I can't get this done in time. I can't get this done. And so, yeah, when they're not there. Also, it's just so quiet without them, and I miss that. I already miss them. And they're here.
I like a certain level, and I think there's a perfect equation of like how much. So, for example, I like that they're in school till 4, and then that I work till 3, and then I get them, and then they're kind of around. Whether they go to their friends or whatever. And so I think that's a perfect amount of time for me to unwind, to see them, for them to go
For
alone.
dinner.
Yeah, I think it's a nice perspective.
Totally.
But yeah, enough teasing. We are
Enough teasing?
Yeah, enough teasing. Like, what are you?
Anyway, that's gonna be it for our podcast.
Yeah, and then tune in next time to see
And we'll share our news.
what we meant. So we are listing our house tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning or tonight.
Tonight. Well, I think it's hitting the MLS tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow morning.
I think the sign's going up tonight.
Woohoo! Finally.
And if you're in the Boise area, please don't be a creep and look up where
Yeah.
our house is so you can walk through. It's like appointment only, so
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah, there's no open house. Get your realtor if you want to
Get
come
your
see
realtor
our
and
house.
pay lots of money. Please pay more money.
But this will come out after the open house anyway.
Yeah.
So this will be perfect.
Yeah. So we're selling a house. We are under contract on another house. We won't share much about the next house. We won't give any spoilers.
Yeah. We
Well,
also don't.
We'll do a video.
We're like in the beginning stages, so we'll
we'll do a video.
see.
I think that's what I want to go. I don't want to say. I don't want to say
yes.
what it has or it doesn't have.
we'll do a, like,
what are we happy
walkthrough.
about? What we don't. I
Okay.
think what we should do.
We should do a video.
I think we close.
I can give you all my ideas.
Yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be a long video, folks. So
Yes.
grab some popcorn.
I'm sorry. I have a lot of ideas.
We close on the 17th of February tentatively, and if everything goes to plan, so I think around that
Wait,
time.
say February one more time.
Feb 17.
And say tentatively one more time.
Tentatively. I can say that one tentatively. Nope.
Tentatively.
Well, listen, if you can't pronounce the word, then you didn't say it right. That's another one for you.
Gold.
And that's the. I am the.
Just keep those coming. I like it.
Do you know those John Madden commentary jokes where like?
Oh yes, where they're just like reading stats about
Football,
people. Yeah.
football is 90% physical and 23% mental. And you're like, that doesn't add up.
Oh,
Or
man.
you'll do like NFL Madden and he'll be like, see, the goal of the quarterback is try to get the ball on the opponent's side of the field.
I'm trying to throw the ball to their teamate.
The most Captain Obvious of it.
Oh yes, I love that.
So if you didn't say the word right, you mispronounced it.
Yeah. So
So yeah, we won't disclose any of that. So we closed the 17th of February, and I think from that point on, we'll start doing consistent progress videos where the projects will be tackled on like as they go. So we'll do
room by room.
Yeah, project 1, we're doing this and this other thing, and then kind of evolve from there. Hopefully, we're gonna try. So Tyler is a new addition to the team. We wanted somebody to come. Kyle is our videographer. we wanted somebody to come help me. And this is all brought from Mike Montgomery. When he was on the podcast, he had this great idea where if content is king and that's what, we need to keep producing, then how do we, and use this analogy of Rachel Ray. If Rachel Ray is cooking.
He's already said this.
Have I said this? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for that. If you haven't.
Remember, it was Rachel Ray, and then you said something about Ricky Lake, and you couldn't think of her name. And then I thought of it.
Wow. Well, if you haven't heard that episode of us talking about
listen to it. But yeah, you're right.
Well, anywho, so I got somebody on board that is skillful in what they do. They know tile, they know building, they know everything, and they are perfectly comfortable being
It's he.
Well, I don't know the pronoun they like to use. He's open to, Tyler's open to being on camera as much or as little as we need, which is incredible. We're already shooting our first video with him in it, helping me a ton. I mean, it's the momentum that now increases where I could start a project and then he can come and finish it while I start another part of the project is ridiculous. Like we're doing one of the bathroom remodels right now, and I started the shiplap, and then he finished it off. And then when he was finishing off, I went to my garage and started building the vanity for it. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, we're both wrapping up at the same time. So I think we're going to be able to squeeze out 3 videos a month instead of 2. And that's going to be exciting. Mm-hmm. So you guys will be able to see the house tour. We'll show you exactly what we want to do. And
yeah, that'll be fun. Do a little walkthrough for you guys. If everything goes well, we have inspection here
in a couple hours.
In a little bit. So if everything goes well with that, that will be, this is the next big step.
Yeah, it's a next big step. What are you excited about this house, and what are you not excited about this house?
Ooh.
No, without giving away. Without giving away. Okay, no, let's do not what you're not excited about. Let's do what are you excited about this house, without giving away too many identifiers of like what
I'm excited for so in our house when we bought it, we remodeled.
Yeah, we worked so hard.
We worked tirelessly every day.
We just put one foot forward.
Tiling.
And our backs hurt.
Moving toilets.
Our backs hurt.
Our backs hurt so bad.
Well, you should have said we moved toilets, etc.
Etc. etc.
And tools, hammers were used.
Drill, nail, screw.
Levelers. And
yes, things.
Yeah, joiners.
Of the sort.
Joiners.
I wouldn't have said that.
I couldn't.
That was too far.
Oh, that was too.
You got to keep it at nails and screws.
We got to keep it at 8th grade building level.
I'm excited because with our house, we did a lot, but it was redoing the stuff that was already there, right? So like the kitchen layout, we redid the peninsula and did an island, but the actual layout of the kitchen is the same. In this house, I'm excited. Like we're going to change things up more. Like each room is going to be a completely different feel, and it's just a completely different space.
What are you going to do with the kitchen? You're going to put the thing on the ceiling?
Yeah. I'm going to put the fridge on the ceiling so we can open it like this. No. Do you know what I mean? Like not structurally.
Well, I don't know if it was the right example to use the kitchen, because I think the level that we're going to do the kitchen is the same level that we're going to do this kitchen, right? Meaning like the peninsula. I'm terrified.
No, I mean I want to move stuff around. I want to move cabinets in a different spot. I want to.
Right, but
we didn't do that in this house. Besides the island.
Yeah. So you're gonna have cabinets here, let's say with the
or
ranges.
Another.
What are you gonna move it from there to the other side of the wall?
Yeah.
You're literally going to move maybe like 2 sides, right? You're going to do the island part, and then you're going to do whatever the other side part.
We'll see.
Oh my gosh. Do you know that the more you put on this
place... This is on you because you showed me your potential.
That's my problem.
Now I know what you can do. So this is all your fault.
I should have.
When we bought this house, I didn't know your potential yet, so I didn't want to buy it because I didn't know what it could be. And now I'm like, he can do that easily.
I know this is supposed to be meant as a compliment, but it's very terrifying to me knowing that this is like
you should be both excited and scared.
And the scariest part, the whole house is sitting on a concrete slab as opposed to having a crawl space.
Yeah.
So it's not just like quickly being like, I'm going to go in the crawl space real quick and move some PVC and some ABS plumbing, and then we'll be good. No. We are getting a tile or a concrete saw into your house. You're not using your kitchen for weeks. I want you to know this.
We have to find somewhere to live.
Drastic the movements are, the longer you can't have a kitchen.
Yeah. I know.
Like plumbing wise.
It's okay.
We're eating pizza all week.
Yep. Do you get what I'm saying though? Like it's like the next level of renovations, I guess.
You told me
like
this.
I want to do beams. There's so many things I want to do. Tyler can do it, right?
We never spoke about beams.
Wouldn't it look so cool? He can't get mad at me on here, by the way. So I have to tell him in this safe space, so he can't get mad when I tell him all my ideas. But it's gonna be room by room, so it won't be super overwhelming. What are you most excited about? Oh,
I'm excited to play the PlayStation in the quiet, in the peace and
you should have just said, I'm not excited anymore.
I'm not excited. You've robbed me of all joy.
No, I think, but to go back, I think mostly I'm excited just to have more space in the house. It's a bigger house.
That's what I would have wanted you to go with. I didn't want you to be like, we had a really fun time. No, we had a Jurassic Home renovation at our current house. But wait till we get into the new house.
You won't even believe.
This is nothing. That's terrifying.
No, you're going to knock it out of the park. And if you can't,
I need to make you then pitch in for the other part of the budget because I'm not spending all the sponsorship money on. I really can't afford these guys.
If you say no, I'll just go to Tyler.
Hey Tyler, listen.
Hey Tyler, hey. Alex signed off on this.
Yeah, that's the Hey, listen. He said he's very busy. He's totally signed off.
He doesn't want you to talk to him though because he's super busy today.
Just have fun with it, and
So this is what I'm gonna do. Can you come here?
Yeah, fridge on the ceiling.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a fridge on a ceiling?
Yeah. He's like working in the garage, like pissed off. I'm like, what's the matter, man? Like, nothing. I'm fine. What's the matter? Did you really sign off on that? I was like, on what?
He's just mad at you for weeks.
Collusion.
Oh man. What are you most excited about? Excited.
I am. You've asked me this before if I'm even a bit sad about selling our house, and I'm not one bit sad about it. And you've done this with 2 houses where you're like, oh, I'm sad because you made everything here.
Yeah, it's like sentimental.
I'm not attached to those. I think the only thing I'll be attached is like the idea of where the kids grew up. And I don't think we have a house that we said the kids grew up in. And I don't think that matters to me too much. I mean, maybe the house that we build where there will be teenagers, that with the idea that they'll come back from college.
Yes.
That's, I think, is fine.
We still have time though. They're still young. They could still have a house they grow up in for the better part of their like childhood.
Well, but I also want. So here's to answer. We'll piggyback off. Before I answer that question, I'll explain what I'm excited for. I'm excited about for room, right? I'm excited for more room. I feel very claustrophobic in our house.
Yeah.
Because there's no game room, there's no nothing, and so no bonus.
Can't send our kids anywhere.
They can go to the room, and then the top floor, there's no separating wall, so the voice, the sound over there, you can hear down there. So you technically they never really leave, and so when their friends come over, you're almost irritated because you're like they're everywhere.
You can hear them, yeah.
And so I'm excited with this new house. It just feels like you have elbow room now. It feels like you can breathe and you can just like lay down in one room and then somebody can be over there and not bother you. Now that's what I'm excited for. I'm also excited about being a blank canvas, right? Because I've learned a lot from this house when it comes to building, and it's done right. But I'm also excited because there are lessons that I've learned in terms of how to make it more cleaner, professional. I'm excited to apply that on the next house. And I think that's a healthy approach. And then when it comes to the kids, because I'm excited about the more room, I know that the next house or the house that we build or whatever, every house after that should get a little bit bigger and a more comfortable. Meaning when they are teenagers and they want to bring their teenage friends over, I want them to be comfortable, and I want us to be comfortable of feeling like, I don't want your friends here. So I guess that's the idea is I'm not going to miss the fact that the first house, the boys were age, 1 to 3, and in this house, they're age of 3 to 7 or whatever. I don't care about that. I have pictures for that. I have memories of stuff like that. I'm more of like, I want there to be a hangout house that everybody's comfortable in, and that's the house we will make those memories. I don't want to have memories of me being irritated and pissed off. You know what I mean? Like I want
The house wasn't. Yeah.
There's nowhere to, like the garage is another prime example. Like everything is my work area here. And there's nowhere to put stuff. Like we have a big thing of toilet paper from Costco, and I'm like, we don't have
anywhere to put it.
We don't have anywhere to put it. Like every pantry's full, every closet's full. There's nowhere to put it. And so to have a garage that's bigger, to have rooms in the house, plenty of closet space, like that is the part that I'm like, I'm excited to be not irritated because of the circumstance that I'm in. So that's what I'm excited about.
Cool.
And you take that to the bank.
Cool. I was gonna ask you something else and I can't remember. Lost my train of thought.
Okay. Is it about the house? Mm-hmm. Is it a question about what can we do something?
Oh, I was gonna ask you. You grew up in like primarily one house.
Yeah.
For a lot of your childhood.
Yeah, that's right.
Did it make a difference? Because
No.
I'm the opposite. I grew up moving all the time.
Every
I don't
2
have
years,
like
right? Or something?
Yeah, the longest we lived in a house was maybe like 3 or 4 years. But I never felt like, I don't know. I never felt like, oh man, I wish we. Sometimes I did actually. No, that's not.
I've heard somebody mention this about profanity with their kids, and it makes sense that the example. Not to say that it changed my mind about the way I look at profanity around kids. It hasn't, but the idea applies to this. They said the question was asked somebody like if they cuss around their kids or not, and they said, I know that they're gonna be adults way longer than they're gonna be kids, so I don't think that's gonna matter too much. Now I don't think it's the great justification, because what you don't want, what you're trying to teach the kid is what you can or cannot say, and you can't explain that to these kids when they're little.
Because they don't understand.
You don't want them to go to somebody's house and then say that and all of a sudden be bad influence. So, but the idea of they're going to be adults longer than their kids, I think they're going to make more memories being high schoolers, middle school or high schoolers, college grads, being hosted in your home that's comfortable than the memories that they had when they're little in the houses. Like for me, I grew up primarily I grew up from age 1 to 7 in Russia. And then from 7 till 20, in my 20s, I think I still lived with my parents till I was 23. And
22.
And so I kept, even now when we go back and like when we visit my folks, we're staying at these houses, and this is my childhood home essentially, if you put it that way, because the majority of my memories from there. I don't view that house as a sacred house.
Like you don't come back and like think of all the memories that were made there.
No, because the memories there shaped you, and but they're also filled with good and bad memories. Right.
That's true.
They're full of like the heartbrokenness. They're full of spankings, whippings. Yeah. They're full of good and bad.
Yeah.
But one thing is, every time I go back, I look at the house as an outdated thing. Like I'm always like, oh, this thing is kind of like, oh man,
from your eyes,
like it used to feel bigger, and now I feel uncomfortable here. Like these trees used to feel giant or smaller or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that. So if my parents are like, we're gonna sell, I'm like, good, let's get something more comfortable, you know?
Yeah, that's
Versus
true.
I have some other friends who were like, no, I want my kids to come back to this. And I'm like, okay, well, it's like the memories I had probably appreciated more if they sold that house. And then I came back 20 years later or 10 years later and be like, hey, I grew up here. Can I look through the house? And then I would be like, you know what's cool? Oh, that's like, I treat it more as a museum that I would like to just see twice in my lifetime, 2 to 3 times, than a museum that I can constantly like keep going back to.
Yeah. I guess for me, I never have like a house that I'm like, I would love to go see it, because each house was like, we lived there such a short period of time that it wasn't significant enough where I'm like, I would love to. I mean, there's been times where like we drive by in the neighborhood, because we still live around the area where we had houses when I was little, and we'll drive by and see how much it's changed, and it's kind of fun. But yeah, there's no like, oh, I would love to go inside and see what's like now, or like how they've changed it, the people that live there.
This is another house as a prime example. Like don't care about keeping this house. What I would like to do is maybe in 20 years,
someday,
wherever I am in life, hopefully at a only advance in terms of skill set or positions in life, I would like to pull up and be like, hey, can I check this house? Because this is the house that started my YouTube career, started your business. So can I check it out?
The memories that behind what happened in those years in that house.
Yeah, but I don't want to come back and I don't want to keep this as a rental property and like that. Like that's
no, yeah. I think for me, it's not like I want to keep this house. It's more like the emotions behind, the things that have happened here.
Yeah,
and I'm glad we have pictures now for that, because back in the day, like when there were no photos, you just had to remember what the house looked like.
Yeah,
and that's why maybe that thought of like growing up in one house was way more popular back then than it is now, because now you do have photos, and it's like you don't have to stay in that house for that long. You can remember it by looking at it. Yeah, right. You don't have to come back to it.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'm excited for this new chapter.
But scared, but excited, but scared.
You're gonna have to be.
I have so many ideas.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you wanted this. You wanted me to be decisive. Yeah.
I've created a monster.
Yes.
All right, folks. Thanks for following another episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe, rate if you're on Apple iTunes. It helps us a lot. Next episode, we have to go back to part 2 of the awkward spaces. We'll hit up the rest of the submissions. I think we have like 7 more or something like that.
That was a lot.
Anywho, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.